All right, so the city of Toronto making headlines with the vacancy home tax. Here's what you need to know. We're going to jump into the details, and I'm going to reference another video I did which explains everything in greater detail. But before I do, feel free to subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this content and if you find value here. And don't forget to click the like button so this video can get pushed out to more people like yourself. And if by the end of this video you think to yourself, you know what, I'd like to chat with Adam about real estate, feel free to click on the link in the description below. That'll connect you to a calendar where you can book a quick 15-minute chat with me at a time that is most convenient for you, or just feel free to shoot me any question you have to adam@visionrealestate.ca, and I will get you a custom video response within 24 hours. The first thing that you need to know is that I actually already did a video on this topic, and I did it quite some time ago when they first started talking about it. In that video, I go over all the actual details, and suffice it to say, most people are going to be exempt from this tax, so don't worry. The one thing that you do need to worry about, though, is declaration. You've got to declare whether or not this is a vacant home by February 2nd, or they will hit you with a penalty of $250. Now, if you're not exempt, which is most likely not the case, most likely you will be exempt because the list of exemptions and stipulations are just enormous. But if you are not exempt, you are going to be forced to pay 1% of the total assessed value according to MPAC. Now, a lot of you may wonder, what is the assessed value? Well, it is probably a lot less than what your property is actually worth, and you can look it up really easily, or you can just reach out to me and I'd be happy to tell you what MPAC says about your assessed value. Here's a clip from my other video that goes over all of the details regarding the home vacancy tax, what all the exemptions are, and all the stipulations. Now let's talk about the exemptions. So there's a small list here, but here we go. The death of a registered owner, properties undergoing redevelopment or major renovations, property of the owner in care, rental restriction or prohibition that prevents the unit from being occupied, the transfer of legal ownership of the property during the year, occupancy for full-time employment, and court order. Now, a couple things to note: the property cannot be a primary residence, so it has to be a income-based property for you, and it also has to be vacant for longer than 6 months. Now, let's talk about the numbers. The average vacancy rate in the city of Toronto on any given year is right around 1%. This is about the same as New York and all other major metropolitan cities where real estate values are shooting through the roof, and there is a lot of demand to be working and living in that city. Having said that, during COVID, it did go up slightly to about 4 or 5%, but that was due to a lack of immigration. People couldn't move around as much. The rental market took a really big dip during 2020 and a little bit of 2021, but that has now recovered and doesn't really apply anymore to what we're seeing currently today. So what we're really talking about here is a very small minority of properties in the city of Toronto that would not be exempt and that would, I hope, self-declare, apparently, that they're vacant. Again, this goes back to the real estate boogeyman that I just did a video on a couple weeks ago, and I'll post that up top so you can take a look at it. But really, we're not seeing a whole bunch of foreign investors eating up properties here and then leaving them vacant. They're renting them out because it's more financially suitable for them to do so, and quite obvious, in fact, to do that. I don't think that this is gonna help affordability or supply in the city whatsoever. The numbers are simply just far too minuscule. In my opinion, this vacancy home tax is just a little bit of political theater, if you will, to show that they are doing something about affordability and the supply of housing in Toronto. But when you actually break it down and look at all of the exemptions and who is exempt from this, it's almost everybody. So I don't really think that this is going to bring any more supply to the market. But that's just what I think. Let me know what you think by commenting below. Do you think that this vacancy home tax will bring any more supply to the Toronto housing market? Thanks again for listening, and I'll see you next time. If you like that video, click the subscribe button on the right, or feel free to enjoy another video here on the left.